Good afternoon, everybody. I have been taking different videos to help the students who are approaching the examinations of class 12, focusing 12 class examinations. Today, I have taken one video. The video is on essay. The topic of an essay is on libraries. On libraries is an essay written by Oliver Sacks. Oliver Sacks was born in 1933. He was born in London. He was a journalist. He was a writer who studied in Oxford College and then Queen's University. He was a scientist also. He had deep passion for science. So the writer in this essay describes what are the advantages of reading books or library, how reading books can change someone's life. He also shares his personal experience, how reading habit can change the life, and what might be some of the libraries visited by the writer. Also, he also presents some of the ideas of his experience, some of the ideas related to book, and then different libraries visited by him, and some of the libraries, they have been changed into digitalizations after some 1990 onward. The book and the library system became digitalized. The concept of e-library came, and what is the writer's attitudes, what is the writer's feelings about e-library, that is I am going to describe. I am going to share some of the video clips also for this. The writer, when the writer was a small child, he visited different libraries. Well, I am going to describe the key points yes, of this library. So key points of this library is that Oliver Sacks' favorite room was home library. Was found at room library or home library because when he started learning the letters, or he could read the letters. Since then, he was fond of reading the books. किताब पढ्न मन पर्थ्यो ओलिभर स्याक्सलाई, र उसलाई सानैदेखि पढ्न मन लाग्नको कारण चाहिँ एउटा स्कुलको मात्र नभएर एउटा घरको वातावरण, स्कुलको नभएर घरको वातावरण थियो. Because his father was a profound, very famous scholar of Hebrew. Hebrew is a language, र हिब्रू ल्याङ्ग्वेजको उसको बाबा चाहिँ एकदम विद्वान हुनुहुन्थ्यो भने. He loved to study the dramas written by Ibsen. उसको फादरको कुरा गरेको छ. He also loved to read the poems composed by war poets. On the other hand, his mother was also the lover of the literature. She had placed favorite books in a separate place. She loved to study the library literature works written by the writer or poets like Charles Dickens, Trollope, Thackeray, Bernard Shaw, Rudyard Kipling, Shakespeare and Milton. These are some of the books that were loved by writer's mother. यसरी एउटा ओलिभर स्याक्सलाई घरमा नै पहिलादेखि एउटा रिडिङको एउटा वातावरण, एउटा इन्भाइरोमेन्ट बनेको देखिन्छ. His parents were related to medical profession. Yes, they were scholars, विद्वान त थिए, as I have already said. त्यसभन्दा पनि उनीहरू मेडिकल प्रोफेसनमा थिए. They had collected many books related to the medical sectors. Right, the writer found his home library very peaceful and the most beautiful. He was always found in the home library when he was late for lunch or dinner. यदि चाहिँ सानोमा राइटर कतै गयो भनेर खोज्न जानु पर्यो भने अन्त जानै पर्दैन. He was absorbed in the books. किताबहरूले घेरिएको, किताबहरूले चाहिँ छेकेको अवस्थामा he was found in the home library. When the writer grew a bit older, he started going to Willesden Public Library. Second मा राइटरले भिजिट गरेको लाइब्रेरी हुन्छ, लोकल लाइब्रेरी. Wilston Public Library. It was his local public library. So let's talk about the Wilston Public Library. कहिलेकाहीँ examinations-मा how was the Wilston Library भनेर question पनि आउन सक्छ. Wilston Library was the writer spent many of his happiest hours of his growing age in this Wilston Public Library. He disliked school. है राइटरलाई यहाँ यो क्वेसन चाहिँ सधैँ आइरहेको हुन्छ. He disliked school. He disliked school किन भन्दाखेरि because he didn't like sitting in the class, hearing the instructions and the information delivered by his teachers. है क्लासमा बसेको छ, चारवटा पर्खालको बिचमा टिचर्सहरूको बोरिङ भाषण सुनेको छ भन्ने कुरामा आयो. त्यसकारण उसलाई बस्न मन पर्ने थिएन स्कुलभित्र. He didn't like to be passive speakers. क्लासमा त passive speakers हुनु पर्यो. So he didn't like to be passive speakers in the class. And he seemed to go from 1 year, and it seemed to go from 1 year to 1 year and pass from another year. जुन सरहरूले भनेको कुराहरू छ एउटा कानबाट पसेर अर्को कानबाट निस्के जस्तो लाग्थ्यो. It seemed to go from 1 year and pass from another year means उसको दिमागले क्याचअप गर्ने थिएन टिचरहरूले भनेको. बिकज ही लाइक द सेल्फ स्टडी. ही वान्टेड टु बी एन एक्टिभ लर्नर नट अ पेसिभ लर्नर. सो ही गट फ्रिडम इन द लाइब्रेरी. जुन चाहिँ एउटा फ्रिडम छ आफ्नो भनेअनुसार छ उसले कहाँ पाउँथ्यो भनेपछि ही गट द्याट इन द होम लाइब्रेरी अथवा लाइब्रेरी. अनि नेक्स्ट लाइब्रेरीको छ एसटी पौल लाइब्रेरी. एन्ड वकर लाइब्रेरी कुड नट प्रोभाइड द बुक ही वान्टेड, सो द्याट ही वेन्ट टु साइन्स म्युजियम लाइब्रेरी. देयर ही स्टडीड केमिस्ट्री. यस केमिस्ट्री पढेको देखाउँछ यहाँ. र यहाँनिरै उसलाई केमिस्ट्रीप्रति साइन्सप्रति अलि धेरै प्यासन हुन्छ. र यो रेडिक्लिफ साइन्स लाइब्रेरी एन्ड बोडलिन लाइब्रेरीको कुरा आउँछ यहाँ. दिस वेयर टु ग्रेट लाइब्रेरिज अफ एट अक्सफोर्ड युनिभर्सिटी. है देयर ही स्टडीड द बुक्स रिटन बाई थियोडर हुक. ही वान्टेड टु राइट बायोग्राफी अफ हुक. ओके मान्छेको नाम हो, क्यापिटल एच. He also visited Queen's College Library. It had complex structure. He went to New York in 1965. He visited and joined Albert Einstein College of Medicine in New York. And he liked that because it was very spacious. Yes, spacious library. There were some libraries visited by the writer. So the libraries visited by the writer are. Here are the questions visited by the writer. That is the home library. Your library, this means Eton Library, Winston Public Library. And another one is Walker Library, Radcliffe Science Library, Queen's College Library. यिनीहरू they are the most of the important libraries. Oxford Library पनि छ. राइटरको यो क्वेसन्स एक्जामिनेसनमा आउन one of the most important questions के हुन्छ भने why did the writer dislike schools? यसको एन्सर हामीले डिस्कस गरिसकेको छौँ. वाइ डिड द राइटर डिसलाइक स्कुल? द राइटर सेज आई वाज नट अ गुड पिपल बट आई वाज अ गुड लर्नर. एक्सप्लेन. यो क्वेसनको एन्सर चाहिँ हामीले जस्ट वी डिस्कस राइट नाउ. प्लिज सी वन्स मोर. He disliked schools. So I have already mentioned, but the writer disliked school. He disliked school because he didn't like sitting in the class, hearing the instruction and information delivered by his teachers. He didn't like to be a passive speaker in the class. It seemed to go from 1 year and pass from another year. He wanted to be an active learner, and not a passive learner. He got freedom in the library. Library selection गर्नको कारण चाहिँ he got the freedom also. And ST Paul Library and Walker Library couldn't provide the book he wanted, so that he went to other library also, like Science Museum Library, and there he studied chemistry. So I have already mentioned. One of the important questions are advantages of library. Library को advantages के हुन सक्छ? There might be the multiple advantages. So many advantages of library. So suppose that library has many advantages that it establishes a peaceful community. यो चाहिँ भनेको कुराहरू ओलिभर स्याक्सको अनुसार हो. According to Oliver Sacks, library establishes a peaceful community, handing books, passing them, seeing the name of the previous readers and the date they took. यस्तो कारणहरूले गर्दाखेरि उसलाई बुक्सहरू मनपर्छ र यसको बुक्सहरूको बेनिफिट्स त यु नो द्याट्स all of you, most of you. There are so many advantages. It expands the horizon. It helps to know what's wrong and what's right. यो चाहिँ आफ्नो पर्सनल फिलिङ्स तर्फ भन्दा पनि राइटरको कुरातर्फ जाउँ. He loved visiting the library. He loved to sit being surrounded by the books. During the 1990s पछाडि he found that students were ignoring the book and the libraries. जब यो फिजिकल लाइब्रेरिज उनीहरूले इग्नोर गरिराखेको देख्यो उसलाई चाहिँ एकदम दुःख लाग्यो. He was disappointed to know that the most of the old books were discarded, thrown from the ACOM library. यो देख्दाखेरि राइटरलाई एकदम दुःख लाग्यो. One of the most important questions over here, important question, why was the writer feel disappointed? Yeah, the writer felt disappointed to know that most of the old books were thrown away. उसलाई त राइटरलाई हुकको बारेमा चाहिँ लेख्न छ उसलाई, तर जब बुकहरू नदेखेपछि he was disappointed. जब फिजिकल बुक्सहरू रिसर्चको लागि चाहिने बुकहरू सबै डिजिटलाइज्ड भएको देख्दाखेरि राइटरलाई एकदम दुःख लाग्छ. Because new generation had stopped going to visit the library for reading and research. They were depend on digital media and e-library. Some of the books were digitalized. For him, destroying books was like murdering a person. You know, the important dialogues. For him, destroying a book was like murdering a person. किताब डिस्ट्रोय गर्ने भनेको एउटा व्यक्तिको मर्डर गर्नु जस्तो राइटरलाई लाग्छ. Digital books cannot be compared with library books because some of the books are priceless. तिनीहरूको कुनै भ्यालु छैन. राइटरले के भन्छ भने लाइब्रेरीमा गएर बुकहरूको स्मेल लिँदै पढ्नुको भिन्दै मजा छ. यसरी राइटरले आफ्नो लाइब्रेरी सम्बन्धी एक्सपिरियन्सहरू he expresses in this essay. All of you, thank you. Please have a good time to you. र एक्जामिनेसनलाई फोकस गरेर राखेको हुनाले यसलाई समरी मात्रै नभएर यसलाई थोरै भए पनि एनालाइज गर्ने ट्राई गरिरहेको छ. मोस्ट अफ द स्टुडेन्ट्स एन्ड अदर पिपल अल्सो दे आर कनेक्टेड विथ लर्न इङ्ग्लिस विथ अङ्कित गिरी फास्ट ट्र्याक. यदि तपाईँहरूले अहिलेसम्म पनि च्यानललाई चाहिँ सब्सक्राइब गर्नुभएको छैन भने प्लिज सब्सक्राइब माई च्यानल. इट विल हेल्प मी टु बी इम्प्रेस्ड एन्ड इन्करेज्ड so that upcoming days haruma better चाहिँ भिडियोज हाल्नलाई चाहिँ I promise you. Thank you. Please, thank you. Have a good day.